Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Here's a headline from the Crypto Basic. Omni founder shares what could make XRP a $1 trillion asset. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think at $1 trillion market cap, XRP would be somewhere approaching $20, would be a little bit lower than that. I don't know if that means 17 or 18, I'd have to crunch the number real quick. But much, much higher. Now, what's interesting is the Omni founder mentioned here is a former Ripple employee. He also went to Harvard, and not only is he now a former Ripple employee, he also sold his company to Ripple. That's right, Ripple bought this guy's company. This is not some sort of fly-by-night individual, and he's talking about a 1,000x opportunity for XRP, and I'll explain what he means by that as we get into this latest Moon Lambo hot jam. But I will just say, if you believe that XRP makes sense, it is not just you, and it's not just some dude on the Webernets with the silly ass name Moon Lambo. It's not just us. It is all sorts of other people with tremendous backgrounds, including those in finance. You're seeing all sorts of institutions flow in, obviously, to adopt XRP. It's also people that are just literal geniuses building products on top of the XRP ledger. And I mean, this guy, he's not exactly a dimwit, I will tell you that. But he shared some specific thoughts on social media platform X, and it's so vindicating to see this, and it proves like it wasn't just us crazy folks in the XRP community saying this back in 2017. It's this guy now saying this in 2025. A brand new comments, and he's like, yeah, that actually is the direction that we're going. And he highlights that XRP is at the very core of what Ripple is doing, which I have always known, and I've been insisting for the entire time I've been running this YouTube channel, over 6 years now. And it's true. So it is vindicating to see this. And finally, it's easier for some people to believe this now that the price has gone higher. But I have seen this the whole damn time. And many of you listening are in the same boat. Many of you have been here for years and you believed the same thing as me. It wasn't just us, though. We weren't taking crazy pills. As it turns out, everybody else who didn't see this and thought that we were crazy, turns out they were just idiot sticks. But before going any further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so reads as follows. Austin King, founder of Omni and a longtime collaborator with Ripple, recently outlined what he believes could push XRP to become a $1 trillion asset. And again, I just got to reiterate, like, to me, it was always clear back in 2017 that we would be in a world where pretty much everything would be tokenized. I mean, not literally. For instance, my pet peeve is under my desk. She's a sweet little dog. My pet peeve is a 10-year-old terrier mix. I'm not going to be tokenizing my dog. I don't need to put a peeve on a blockchain, you know. I don't need that to be. Somebody else can do that if they want to. I'm not going to put my pet peeve on a blockchain. But there's all sorts of reasons that you'd want to tokenize stuff, from treasury bills to, you know, money market funds and stocks and even real estate. Like, there's all sorts of stuff because, and if for no other reason, it removes friction from the process of transacting with these assets, buying and selling of these assets. You don't need a middleman anymore. You don't. It's just on a decentralized blockchain, and there's the asset, and that's that. So it was very obvious even back then, like, this is going to happen. So then the question was, okay, is it going to happen for XRP and the XRP ledger? And that was the $1 million question. Now, I always believed since XRP was among the first movers in the space, the answer was likely to be yes. And so I was like, well, I'm jumping in. I'm going to see if it keeps trending in this direction. As long as it does, I'm staying in this thing. I ain't jumping ship. You know, as long as this goes, whatever happens price-wise in the short term doesn't matter. And that was, in fact, my bet. Even after the bubble popped, XRP hit its all-time high, its last all-time high, on January 4th of 2018. After that happened, it was pretty clear in short order after that the bubble had popped. And I said, well, it's probably going to take a few years before we get back into a bull market, but I'm going to spend years accumulating. And that's exactly what I did. And I said to myself that I believe at some unknown point in the future, XRP will hit a new all-time high in enterprise discovery. And if I'm wrong, that means it goes to zero. But one of those things is going to go to happen, and all the price action in between wouldn't matter. I just didn't know it would take 7 years because of the SEC, but either XRP would go to zero or hit a new all-time high. And now we have the answer. It just happened weeks ago. And so I do love to see that. But I didn't jump ship because the utility was always increasing for XRP. Adoption was increasing, and I always believed that price would catch up as a result. And yes, I understand that people chasing green candles as it goes, I understand that that's not because of utility, but there are people like you and I that do understand the utility, and we held throughout all of this time, which effectively set a price floor. Not a literal floor. I'm not saying there was an entity making sure it couldn't go lower. I'm saying because of people like you and I who refuse to sell because we believe it does make sense, the price could only go so low. In fact, there are instances where XRP price went so low that I got enticed to sell when I otherwise wouldn't have. Like, I bought XRP as low as 15 cents after the pandemic. I remember when that happened in March 2020. Some of you were around. It was like, it was blood in the street. XRP got down to 10 cents. I wasn't able to buy it that low, but I caught it at 15 cents, you know? And so I always believed the price would catch up. And so we're not done, though. Like, it's not obvious enough. It's not obvious to most people that we're right yet. It's still early. It still is. I argue that. Now, if you fast forward another decade or two, it won't be. But Austin King clearly believes this. Look what he had to say here. He says, most people do not understand the impact RLUSD will have on the XRP ledger. Of course, RLUSD being Ripple's newly launched stablecoin, launched in December 2024. And he says, if you think this is just about a stablecoin, you are missing the scale of this opportunity by over 1,000x. Here is the actual strategy that Ripple is pursuing and the impact it will have on XRP. And again, folks, you should listen to this guy and take him seriously because he's very smart. He wouldn't have been at Harvard otherwise. He used to work at Ripple, so he knows a thing or two, and he has some connections there, obviously. And he even sold his company to Ripple, as I cited earlier in the video. His name is Austin King. And then he said, RLUSD daily volumes are already exceeding $300 million. Additionally, dozens of teams are working with Omni to integrate RLUSD into their products. While this is all exciting, it is just the tip of the iceberg. This week, Ondo Finance announced that they are launching tokenized treasury bills on the XRP ledger. If you've been following me, you may have seen this coming. Now we're starting to see the next stage of Ripple's actual strategy. And let me pause to note, and I covered that at the time. We also saw the RChax, and that was in recent months, and they officially launched it. We knew it was coming for some time before that. But in partnership with Ripple, launching money market funds. So tokenized money market funds on the XRP ledger. Now, that matters for anybody that holds XRP because in order to tokenize anything on the XRP ledger, XRP is literally required. Also, for every single transaction of these tokens that are tokenized on the XRP ledger, XRP is required. It's effectively a gas fee at that point. That's what XRP serves. It's burnt. It doesn't go to anybody as profit. It's just burnt. And that's important because, you know, if you didn't have that, then people could just bog down the entire network by spamming it with transactions. But it turns out, if you try and do that, it gets really costly because the fees increase as you do that. So you wouldn't be able to sustain that. And then as soon as you run out of money to make that happen, the ledger goes back to its normal state in terms of transaction speed and ledgers closing and so on and so forth, and you will have accomplished precisely nothing. So it's stupid to even try that, which is why nobody does that. But yeah, so the point is XRP is literally required for all of this. It's always been at the core of Ripple's strategy, which I've been saying since the beginning. And so anyway, Austin King says, step one, and so this is Ripple's actual strategy, he says, step one, prove out tokenization technology by launching RLUSD. Step 2, begin expanding with low-risk tokenized assets like treasury bills, low trillions. Step 3, tokenize debt and equities, which is tens of trillions of dollars. And step 4, 4 plus he listed it as, tokenize derivatives and beyond, hundreds of trillions. And so folks, you can absolutely have hundreds of trillions of assets tokenized on the ledger. Now I do want to be clear, because some of the hypey influencers out there have said this stuff for years and years, and I always have to fight back against this dumb idea. That doesn't mean that XRP has a market cap of hundreds of trillions of dollars. Absolutely not. Understand that these assets already exist in the real world. So if you then tokenize them, there's a representation of those assets on the XRP ledger. It doesn't mean that that's what XRP is worth, though. That's just what those assets are worth in the real world. You also can't double count them. You can't say, those are the assets in the real world, and then here they are in the ledger, so they're also worth that. So if the assets that you tokenize are worth 300 out wherever they exist, 300 trillion, and then they're tokenized on the XRP ledger, you can't say that now they're worth collectively $600 trillion. People double count them all the time. It's dumb as hell. It's like, I remember former Ripple employee Matt Hamilton pointing this out. It's like, oh, really? So you can just tokenize everything, and then you double count. And so to point it out, he's like, okay, well, what if you're going to tokenize military assets? Like, say it's a tank. The tank's in the real world. What's that worth? Just make up, I don't know what tanks are worth. I'll just say it's $1 billion. I'm making up a crazy number. Say it's $1 billion. Okay, so then once you tokenize it on the ledger, so what? Now that's worth $2 billion because it's on the ledger and it's in the real world? No, obviously not. And so understand that the price of XRP, it's always going to be based on the supply and demand dynamics of XRP on exchanges the world over. That's it. So you can have all sorts of other tokens, but those tokens will have their own values separate from what XRP's market value is. Those are different things. If you see any influencer out there saying otherwise, hundreds of trillions flows into the XRP ledger being tokenized, that means XRP's worth hundreds of trillions of dollars. They're stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. Please don't fall for that. I've been pushing back against that for so damn long. I'm a little tired of it. So don't fall for that. Anybody saying that does not know what they're talking about. Anyway, Austin continues. Ripple is going to bring trillions from traditional finance onto XRP. Omni is going to expand those trillions across the rest of the on-chain financial system. This will cement XRP at the center of the entire on-chain economy. What does getting to trillions look like? A flywheel effect will take place. Number one, XRP will tokenize more assets. Number two, Omni will expand those assets across the on-chain economy, incentivizing more institutions to tokenize assets on XRP. This is the 1000x opportunity, and it's going to happen sooner than you expect. Okay, I absolutely agree with the concept. I always have for as long as I've been in the XRP community. And you're going to see more and more stuff tokenized, 100%. And that will help to ensure the long-term viability of XRP. And so then, as more money flows into the crypto space in the coming years and decades, a certain percentage of that will go into XRP because XRP will be viewed as something that's safe and having staying power. And it's early enough days that you are going against the grain. Even now, if you think XRP makes sense, you are in a very small minority. Almost no humans on this planet even know what XRP is. So the fact that you're in it this early, if right, that's the reason there's the opportunity for it to reward all of us very handsomely. That's the point. And he's killing it here. Yes. And so now it's 2025. He's saying a lot of the stuff that we knew in the XRP community a decade ago before I was even here. Because, XRP's been around since 2013 publicly. And so there are all sorts of smart people that figured this out before I even came into the space, years before I did. And then now we can all credit ourselves for agreeing after doing our own analysis, be like, yeah, that does make sense. And I did myself. So I get credit and you came to your own conclusion. You get credit. You get credit for when you came in and figured it out. So a lot of people have done the heavy lifting before us. And so credit to them, but we all agree it makes sense. And that's why you get this base level of people who are like, no, I ain't selling. That's exactly where that comes from. That's why XRP is here to stay, my friends, and it's only getting better. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.